Assalamualaikum and hi. Today, my group will cover Chapter 6 Payment System and Working Hour for Subject DTA40133 Human Resource Management. So, this is the group members for this presentation. The first one will be me, Nur Dalila binti Nosham, and my metric number is 180V21F1008. Next will be Nurul Sofia binti Nur Azhar, and her metric number is 180V21F1030. Next is Nurul Ain Ashira binti Azmi, and her metric number is 180EV2NF1028. Last but not least is Ang Yi Yan, and her metric number is 180EV2NF1006. This is the overview for our presentation. The first one will be the introduction. Second will be determine wage and payment system. Third will be determine working hours system. Fourth will be describe legislation related to payment of wages. Fifth will be describe legislation related to working hours. And last but not least, conclusion. Now, let's talk about the introduction for payment system and working hours. So, payment system and working hours play a major role to retain the best performers. Employers need to have a proper compensation system. Payment system play two significant roles not only for individual employer but also at the level of society. Now, we will talk about the remuneration package. First is basic wages. Basic wages is a fixed amount of money that an employee receives for their standard work hours, excluding additional components such as bonuses, overtime pay, benefits, and allowances. Next is incentives. Incentives are additional rewards or benefits offered to individuals or groups to motivate them to take specific actions, achieve particular goals, or enhance performance. Here are some common types of incentives. First is monetary incentives, such as bonuses. Second will be non-monetary incentive, such as recognition and awards. The third one is employee benefits, such as retirement contributes. Next will be team-based incentives, which is team bonuses. And last but not least, sales incentives, which is sales trips. Next is benefits. Benefits in general is indirect and non-cash compensation paid to an employee. Staff will receive based on level of rank. Some benefits are mandated by law, such as Social Security, employment compensation, and workers' compensation. Others vary from firm to firm or industry to industry, such as health insurance, life insurance, medical plan, paid vacation, pension, and gratuity. So, this is the purpose or goals of a wage system. First, attract employees to work in the organization. Second, retain efficient employees. Third, motivate employees to perform efficiently. And last but not least, establish a simple system that is easy to administer. In payment system, there are two types of payment, which is time-based wage and piece rate wage. So what is time-based wage? Time-based wage is wages are paid for a set of period of work on an hourly, weekly, or monthly basis. For example, office workers receive monthly rated pay. So what is piece rate wage? A piece rate wage is workers are paid according to the number of units produced in a given time. Now let's talk about advantages and disadvantages for payment system. Let's go through the first one, which is time-related system. For the advantages, will be easy to understand and administer, and the worker is assured of a steady income. For disadvantages is no relationship between effort and reward, and not motivate employees to maximize their effort. Next is piece-rated system. The advantages is workers will be self-motivated and workers put in their effort in order to increase their pay back. The disadvantages is not necessarily attempt to maximize their earnings and the quality of output may be affected. That is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul and Ashira binti Azmi. My metric number is 18TEB21F1028. Today, I would like to present about working hour system. What is working hour system? A working hour system refers to the framework or structure established by an organization or government that govern the hour employees are expected to work within a given period. It outlines the standard work hours, breaks, overtime policies, and other related aspects that define the schedule and conditions under which employees are required or permitted to work. The type of working hour system is full-time, part-time, flexible hours, shift work, overtime, and zero-hour contract. For the full-time working hour system, the most common definition of full-time employment involves a 40-hour work week, typically spread across 5 days, usually from Monday to Friday. Next, part-time working hour. Part-time employment refers to work arrangement where an employee works fewer hours than a full-time employee. Next is part-time working hour. Part-time employment refers to a work arrangement where an employee works fewer hours than a full-time employee. The specific number of hours that define part-time work can vary widely, but generally, part-time position involve working less than a standard full-time hour established within a particular industry or company. For flexible working hour, refer to a work arrangement that allow employees some degree of freedom in determining when they start and finish their workday. This system enables individuals to adjust their work schedule within certain parameters, offering more control over their daily working hours compared to a fixed 9 to 6 schedule. Overtime refers to the hour worked by an employee that exceeds the standard working hour established by an employee or regular authorities. It typically involves working beyond the regular full-time hour defined by the organization, often resulting in additional compensation for the extra work time. For the shift work, refer to a work schedule outside of the standard daytime hour of approximately 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It involves organizing employees to work in specific shifts, covering extended hours, including evening, night, weekend, or rotating schedule. Okay, lastly, a zero-hour contract. Zero-hour contract is a type of employment arrangement where the employer does not guarantee a set number of working hours to the employee. Under this arrangement, the employee doesn't commit to providing a minimum number of working hours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Sofia binti Nurazaha and my metric number is 18DEV21F1030. Okay, for my part is legislation related to a payment of wages. Legislation related to a payment of wages varies by country, but it generally covers aspects such as minimum wages, frequency of payment, and other provision to ensure fair competition for employees. Internationally, countries have their own labor law addressing wages-related matter. This law typically outlines the minimum wages requirement, frequency of payment which is monthly or weekly, and may include provision for deduction and bonus. Okey, maksudnya kat sini ialah perundangan yang berkaitan dengan pembayaran gaji berbeza mengikut negara. Tetapi secara amnya mengikuti aspek seperti gaji minimum, kekerapan pembayaran dan peruntukan lain untuk memastikan pampasan yang adil untuk pekerja. Okey, setiap negara berbeza dan mungkin mempunyai peraturan tambahan. Di peringkat antarabangsa, negara mempunyai undang-undang buruh mereka sendiri yang untuk menangani perkara berkaitan gaji kepada pekerja. Undang-undang ini biasanya menggariskan keperluan gaji minimum, kekerapan pembayaran seperti bulanan atau mingguan dan mungkin termasuk dalam potongan bonus. Ini juga adalah penting bagi majikan untuk mengetahui dan mematuhi undang-undang yang berkaitan dalam bidang kuasa mereka untuk memastikan amalan pembayaran yang adil dan sah. Seterusnya, legislation related to a payment of wages, dia ada 4 kat sini, iaitu the Employment Act, the Sabah Labour Ordinance, the Sarawak Labour Ordinance and the Wages Council Act, yang bermaksud Akta Pekerjaan, Ordinan Buruh Sabah dan Ordinan Buruh Sarawak serta Akta Majlis Gaji. Okey, kita pergi ke next slide. Okey, yang pertama ialah the Employment Act. Employment Act in Malaysia regulates employment term for most worker. It covers issues like working hour, rest day, and a benefit. It set a minimum employment condition, but certain group of employee and industry may have a different regulation. Okey, maksud kepada Akta ini telah diperkenalkan dengan tujuan untuk menjaga kebajikan pekerja dan memberikan fleksibiliti dalam tempoh bekerja. Tujuan pindaan ini adalah untuk meningkatkan dan memperbaiki perlindungan kebajikan pekerja. Selain itu, ia juga bertujuan untuk memastikan keselarasan undang-undang perburuhan di Malaysia selaras dengan standard antarabangsa. Akta ini juga meliputi semua pekerja dalam sektor swasta di Semenanjung Malaysia dan juga termasuk di wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Contoh yang pertama ialah waktu bekerja daripada 48 jam kepada 45 jam seminggu. Sebelum ini, bilangan maksimum waktu kerja mingguan pekerja di Malaysia adalah 48 jam. Tetapi mulai 1 Januari 2023, waktu kerja maksimum seminggu telah dikurangkan kepada 45 jam. Next, the Sabah Labour Ordinance. According to the Sabah Labour Ordinance, an employee shall not be required under his contract of service to work more than 5 consecutive hours without a period of leisure of not less than 30 minutes duration. More than 8 hours in one day in excess of a spread over a period of 10 hours in one day, or more than 48 hours in 1 week. However, workers in Sabah still need to work 48 hours per week, while workers in the Peninsula Malaysia enjoy 45 working hours per week after the passing Employment Act Amendment. Maksudnya kat sini, menurut Ordinan Buruh Sabah, seorang pekerja tidak dikehendaki di bawah kontrak perkhidmatannya untuk bekerja lebih daripada 5 jam berturut-turut tanpa tempoh masa lapang, tidak kurang daripada 30 minit. Lebih daripada 8 jam dalam satu hari, lebih penularan dalam tempoh 10 jam dalam masa satu hari, atau lebih daripada 48 jam dalam masa satu minggu. Bagaimanapun, pekerja di Sabah masih perlu bekerja 48 jam seminggu, manakala pekerja di Semenanjung Malaysia menikmati 45 jam bekerja seminggu selepas Akta Pekerjaan diluluskan. Antara objektif Ordinan Buruh Sabah ini ialah untuk memastikan pekerja diberi perlindungan daripada penindasan. Mendakwa sesiapa yang tidak mematuhi ordinan ini, memberi peluang kepada pekerja membuat tuntutan faedah minima dan memastikan pekerja diberi faedah minima. For the last but not least, the Wages Council Act. The National Wages Consultative Council Act 2011 mandates that anyone considered an employee is entitled to receive wages of at least RM1,500 regardless of age or fixed term employment status. Sesiapa sahaja yang dianggap sebagai pekerja berhak menerima gaji sekurang-kurangnya RM1,500 tanpa mengira umur ataupun status pekerjaan jangka tetap.
name is Angin. My number matrix is 180EV21F1006. Today I would like to introduce the working hour legislation. First of all is standard work week. For example, legislation often defines the standard work week, which typically consists of a certain number of hours. This may vary between country and region, but commonly range from 35 to 40 hours per week. Besides overtime regulation. For example, beyond the standard work week, legislation may specify when overtime applies, the rate of pay for overtime hours, and any limitation on the number of overtime hours an employee can work. Furthermore, break and rest period. To illustrate, laws may mandate minimum rest break and meal period during the workday. Employers are typically required to provide employees with reasonable break for meal and rest. Moreover, maximum working hours. Some jurisdictions establish maximum limit on the number of hours an employee can work in a given period, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Night shift and shift work. For example, legislation may address additional compensation or consideration for employees working night shift or irregular hours. Besides flexible working arrangements, in some places, law may support flexible working arrangements such as part-time work or flexible schedule to accommodate employee needs. Child labor protection. Legislation often includes provisions to protect minors from working excessive hours and ensure that work does not interfere with their education. The last is paid time off and vacation. For example, laws may regulate the accrual and use of paid time off, including vacation days, public holidays, and sick leave. In conclusion, the payment system and working in human resources are fundamental aspects that significantly impact the employer and employee relationship, organizational efficiency, and comply with legal and regulatory standards. A well-designed payment system involves the structured management of compensation, benefit, and payroll process, contributing to a positive and transparent work environment.